So hi everyone, this is an introductory overview of the class for Spanish 2. And today I just want to talk about how the class is structured and what you should expect from this class. So the first thing that you need to do is to go to the tab, Start Here, Bienvenidos in Blackboard, and you will find all the information to set up your class. You should watch the introductory video as well. And then you have a checklist of things that you need to get done. And those are divided on steps. So you're gonna keep scrolling down. And if you have taken classes on Blackboard, that's how usually Blackboard works. It goes all the way down. So you're gonna watch your step 1 and read the syllabus, take the first day of the class quiz. There is a summary with some questions about the syllabus, just to make sure you understood what this class entitles. Then make sure your computer is going to be able to work with Blackboard and also with our online book. And then we have this step that is going to help you to connect your book with this course. And lastly, on step 5, here is an explanation of the lab. So this class has also another requirement, that is the lab. And this is a requirement that is not part of my class, but it comes with my class. I'm not going to be giving you a grade, but it's going to be part of that grade. So it is very important that you understand that if you don't complete 16 hours, you're not going to get 100 points. So this class is at 1,000 points. So those 100 points will represent 10% of your grade. So that will draw you immediately from A to a B to a C. And this is a requirement from the state. This is part of the laboratory with Saddleback College. So they audit actually the hours that you have completed. So it's not going to be up to me just to oversee you didn't or not complete those hours. So make sure you complete those activities. And I will talk more about that in the next chapter. So once you set up your class, you just have to know that the lessons plans is how we're going to be working. And I'm going to actually change to what's going to be your view. You probably don't see all of this. So this is probably now what you see on your menu. We're going to be working on lesson plans. So what you need to do is just click on the lesson. And the most important thing is to know when it's going to be the due date for that lesson. It's going to be usually 2 weeks per lesson. But there might be a different due date, a lesson like this first lesson. But usually the due dates are going to be on Monday at midnight. You have to make sure you complete all the activities in that lesson. So you're going to keep scrolling your way down. And for example, your first activity here is going to be introduce yourself. So you're going to open that folder. In this case, it's going to be Padlet. This is one of the tools that we will be using this semester. Okay. You have all the instructions. If you ever have any question or any problems, you can always email me or go to the questions and answers. Here you can post any questions that you might have about the course. If I'm not able to answer right away, maybe another student can answer you. You can subscribe to get the emails so you know that I answer. But I'm not connected 24 hours, 7 days a week. So this is a good way to get maybe a response from another classmate. So here, if we keep going on our lesson plan, you're just going to see that it's set up as steps, and you're just going to be clicking. And when you click on these folders, this one will open the activities that you need to complete for that lesson. So this is basically how it's going to be organize the class. And when we are getting close to the due date, like Saturday night, the new lesson will open. You don't need to start working in until you're done with this one. But for the people that want to finish the lesson early and work ahead, they will be able to access the lesson a couple of days earlier before the due date of the previous lesson. And you just keep working your way down. And we're gonna go here to the language lab activities. So these are the activities that they are going to count for your 16 hours. So you need to complete these activities. Now you need 16 hours. There are 8 lessons. So 2.5 hours per week, that would be a good estimate. But let's say this week you have a lot of spare time and you want to spend 4 hours. You go ahead and do that. And maybe the following lesson, you have midterms, so you're busy with another class and you cannot spend any hours. That is okay. But you have to know that they have a due date. So if you don't complete all the activities, you cannot get to the last lesson and then think that you're gonna be able to access the first lesson lab activities. So this is basically how it's structured. You're gonna have here your grades. So you're gonna be able to access and see your grades. And everything will be posted over there. If you ever think that you have a discrepancy, you should contact me as soon as possible so we can fix that problem. So that was basically an overview. I don't know, not many people join us today, but we have Stephen. Do you have any question that you wanted to ask me about the syllabus, which I recommend that everyone make sure you read it thoroughly? Stephen, do you have any questions?
I actually have a question. You said that you have to access the labs through Blackboard to get the points so that they're connected. So once I access through the Blackboard to go to the lab, do I have to back out to Blackboard to start a new lab, or can I access the lab?
Yeah, you don't have to. It is better to access through Blackboard so you know the activities that you have completed. But if you do it strictly from Connect, those will count as well. Let's see if I can open now Connect. Something that it is important to understand is I have students that they tend to use Connect maybe instead of logging into Blackboard. You see, this will prompt you to register. So you have to work through Blackboard because some of the assignments, they are not in Connect, they are on Blackboard, and other activities, yes, they're gonna be on McGraw-Hill, but it's better to log into Blackboard and work your steps. Now, you don't have to, if you're going to complete, and I will show you now, you're gonna complete the activities for the lab, you can access those through Connect and they will count towards your grade. So let me show you that. Okay, it's taking a while to, there we go. Okay. So this is probably not gonna be your view, but it will be very similar. Let's say you want to access the lab activities, you're gonna have it here. You can do it from here. That is easier for you, okay? That is gonna save your progress and it will communicate with Blackboard if you did the first connection. So you have to make sure the first time you access McGraw-Hill that you make the connection, and now Blackboard, you see how when I click to the first activity, it prompts me to register. So once you do that the first time, now you can work out of McGraw-Hill and now open Blackboard and it will save your progress. But make sure that you know that all the steps, they are not all in Connect. Okay, here they are just grammar activities and they are tutorials and quiz and test. But the other activities like writing on a blog or listen to an audio, they are going to be in Blackboard and they are separate from Connect, okay? Do you have more questions, Stephen?
No, that pretty much sums it up. I am a little worried about how my grammar, not my grammar, my vocabulary is in Spanish. So I don't know. I have a problem with differentiating words in sentences when I am being spoken to in Spanish. I can read it easier than I can listen to it. So I was just wondering for the final exam where we talk to you in Spanish for 3 to 5 minutes. What are you looking for? Like how well we can? I was just wondering how that works because I speak muy poquito Spanish. I'm really excited to learn. I just I feel like I have a long ways to go. I think my first Spanish class was graded on how far we came. Like so, like let's say I knew 0 Spanish and I tried really hard and I grew a lot and I learned a lot. But I don't know how much I need to get through this class. And I wanna speak Spanish. I need it for my work and stuff. So I'm excited to learn. I don't know. I'm a little scared, a little worried for an online class is what I'm saying.
Well, I have to say an online class is not easy because there's going to be a lot of self-learning and discipline. You have to have an auto-discipline of sitting up and make your hours like if you were going to a classroom. Because a lot of people say, well, there is a lot of work, there is a lot of activities. Well, yeah, if you were going on a classroom, you will actually be sitting for 5 hours on a classroom. And your lectures, your 5 hours, they're integrated here, plus the homework that you will get for a 5-unit class that is about 10 hours a week. So you have to be realistic and say you have to plan 10 to 15 hours a week. Each person is different, but expect that. The other thing, this class follows a curriculum from the state. So we have to assess you on those learning objectives that you're going to see on the syllabus. And that's what we expect you to reach. So at the end of the semester, everyone is going to come from this level to this level. And I know we might have heritage speakers that they're going to start in this level and keep in this level, and they're going to be an A, right? And maybe someone that never learned Spanish, they're going to start here and maybe go up here. It's more effort, but it doesn't meet the curriculum of the state that is here, no? Now, for the oral speaking, you're going to have practice with other students. There are language coach on the tutoring center that you can use to extra practice. When I'm going to have the interview with you, I'm going to send you the questions that I'm going to be asking you. Probably I send like 15 to 20 questions that I might ask you. So you can prepare ahead of time. All of them, they are related to the vocabulary that we learn and to the questions that you practice with your partners. I do not expect perfection. I want to see that you can have a command of the language, meaning you can communicate, you can understand me, and if you cannot understand me the first time, you can ask me in Spanish. Puedes repetirlo, me lo puedes decir de otra manera, ¿no? I want to see how you are able to communicate in the language, even though you're not going to conjugate all the verbs perfectly. You might forget a word and you start trying to explain that word with using other words. So I'm not grading the speaking so much on accuracy and perfection. I speak another language, I speak English, and I don't do it perfect, but I'm able to communicate and have my normal life. So that's what I expect from my students, that they're able to push. And even though they know they're going to have an accent, that they're going to conjugate some of the words wrong, that they might not know the vocabulary, all the words that they want to use, they are able to keep speaking. And maybe I ask you a question and you are not really good about talking about your childhood, but then you move me to talk about an area that you know more, like sports. Instead of talking about your whole childhood, you say, yeah, when I was a kid, I was playing, and then you start talking about sports because you feel more confident with that vocabulary, right? So that's what we are looking at. We'll not worry about the oral exam. But if you feel that that is what you need to work more, I will definitely practice with your partner. And there are some students that like to not only practice those activities that they are going to be mandatory for your grade, but also meeting just for a coffee and practice Spanish. So I will try to also connect with those students, okay? This week, I don't think the link is open yet to connect with other students because it's the first week of the class, but you will be able to connect with other students in the class, okay, to find a partner. Did that answer your question, Stephen?
Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions about the class, about Connect? I know it's a lot of technology for the first week. Students are usually overwhelmed when they see all of those things that you have to read and set up. But once you pass the first week and figure out how things work, it just gets easier, okay? And I will also be holding online tutoring every week, so people can connect with me, ask me questions, or if you want to practice speaking because you have a couple of things that you want to work on your pronunciation, you can contact me. I will also be sending information about the tutoring center as well if you want to do something on a regular basis, okay? More question?
No, that's pretty much all from my point. Will you be posting your available times for the tutoring?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
Yeah,
that will be on Blackboard?
Yes, I always say, and that's something that I wanted to talk, and I don't know if I have it here. Let me connect to Blackboard. The announcement tab, I always send the announcements as emails, and so you're going to be getting a lot of emails from me to your Saddleback email account. And I know it's I communicate heavily on emails, but I know students check their email more that they log in onto Blackboard, okay? So you just need to make sure to check your Saddleback email often, or if you don't, whenever you log in onto Blackboard, check the announcements, okay? And I will be posting here the hours that I will be available. Okay, Stephen?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah. Any other question?
No, I think that got them all.
Okay. Well, I have to thank you for joining me because you are the only one that was able to join this session.
No, it was very useful. Thank you.
So thank you for joining me. And if you have any other questions, just email me. I'm always here to help all of you. Okay?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye.